Okay, guys, we're going to pick back up with chapter 7 of Ellen Foster. Remember, this book was written during the 60s, so they refer to African Americans as colored people. I hate that word, but I'm going to read that through so you'll know that was the kind of language that they used at that time. Okay, so we're going to find out a little bit about Ellen and what's going on. We know that her house with her dad is not the greatest. It's not the safest. So we're going to see she's kind of got an idea somewhere she wants to go. So chapter 7. I will give you $1 is what I told Starletta's mom when she let me in the door. I don't care for the extras like food or a toilet. I know this is not a hotel. She wanted to know what was wrong at my house. That is funny to me. I told her I got myself locked out just by accident, and I just, as soon as it was light, I would go back home. Her mama said I was welcome and to put my money up, that she didn't take money from children. Since her husband was gone to look after his mama in the hospital, I could sleep in bed with her. Starletta was rooted real good in her cot. When I got up in the morning, I was surprised because I did not feel like I had slept in a colored house. I cannot say I officially slept in the bed because I stayed in my coat on top of my covers. I went on home and waited at the edge of the woods until I saw them all leave in the truck. I went in the house and then loaded up everything I damn well pleased in a box. All that was left to pay the bills was a bag of old nickels he kept hid where I could crawl up and reach. I got 2 changes of clothes and put all my Christmas presents in the box. I looked like the colored man had played with my microscope, but they had not break it. But what else do? You take what you leave in a place you never come back to. If you forget something very precious, you just have to live without it. Then there was personal hygiene, a toothbrush and a hair comb and towels in case you have your own supply. To be sure, they will have sheets on the bed. Then there is where to go. Get it right before you get to the telephone. You don't want to sound like a fool. So she's kind of going over it in her mind. Well, I don't know who she's going to call yet, but she's kind of thinking how she's going to say it. Hello, this is Ellen. I'm fine. I was wondering if. Or, hello, this is Ellen. I'm fine. How are you? I was wondering if I could come stay with you. Is this weekend okay? Could you come pick me up now? I get lucky on the first try. My mama's sister Betsy says, sure you can come. I tried I tried her first because she was has a recently dead husband and could use the company, I'm sure. It would be nice to have a girl around, she says. That is sweet. Music to my ears. You better pick me up at the store near my house. You know where that is? Our path is washed out. I'm on my way. What do you want to do this weekend? She asked me in the car. And I say, do you have a bathtub? I hope I pick somebody with a bathtub. Yeah, why, yes, I do, she says. I already know she has a nice house. It's a yellow and has flowers up in the mailbox. If I'm not confused, I cannot think of what I would like to do. This is all happening so fast. She settles me in the house and we all go shopping in town. It is a different town. She keeps saying she has always wanted a girl to buy for. She did not have any babies, not a one. We shop and buy a dress that suits me fine, and more little things than I can think of. My favorite was a pair of gloves with the sequin cap sewed on the hands. I cannot play with them, but they look really good. All afternoon and night, and on to the next day is like magic. I do not think of anything but the flowers on the sheets and the bubbles in the bathwater. This is the life. All day Sunday, we just lounged around the house. Aunt Betsy spends right much time on the couch looking at magazines with stars in them. She just smiles and tells me to make myself right at home, which I do, looking in the dresser drawers, fingering eh, for what nots, generally getting to know the place. She just keeps saying for me to make myself right at home. It is good to have somebody around like that. Then she wants to know who's coming to take me back. She must have forgot. Take me back where? I wonder. Home, she says. I say, I told you I wanted to come stay with you, and you said fine. Now I'm here, and I got all my stuff here, and I brought from the other place back in the bedroom closet. She says, no, and laughs at the same time. I meant you could stay for the weekend and then go back to your home. Really? What did you think I mean? That I could come stay with you? Well, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Me too. Good. Let's take you back and you can come another time. So obviously there's a miscommunication. Ellen felt like if she was going to call her aunt and say, "Can I come stay with you?" she meant indefinitely, and her aunt didn't say so. And I don't know about you, but that makes me think, wow. So we know that her aunt doesn't have a husband because he's recently died. She never had any kids of her own. So it makes me wonder, like, what's wrong with that mean aunt? I mean, why wouldn't you take that child? But she doesn't. So now we're going to go forward and she's going to start talking about her new mama. So if you haven't figured it out yet, it goes back and forth between the past and the present. Okay, my new mama grocery shops every Saturday night. She tells one of the big girls to look after the baby boy, then she is off. I go with her sometimes just to get out of the house. If you get your coat and hat on and stand by the door, you can usually go. But if you go, you better help. She will not let more than three of us go in at a time because that spells trouble. She took the baby one time and came home frustrated and touchy. It is hard to shop with someone in that way. I took Starletta with me one time and found out on my own for my own self. She goes at night to miss the crowd. That is good because you do have people breathing down your neck for you to make your meat and fruit selection. It's also good because they slash the prices on the fancy baked goods. I almost died when I saw all the frozen food in the store, way more than in my old store. Here you could get every meal every day on a plate, breakfast, lunch, not just supper, pancakes, patty sausage, link sausage, hamburger meat already on the bun. I tried to get my new mama to buy it, but she said it was cheaper and better nutrition to make it from scratch. But it's not easier. She never runs out of money at the store. No matter how many bags she has to go, she never has to put anything back. She pays the way I like, cash on the barrelhead. Riding home in the car with all the food, you feature how it will look and smell. Chicken does not look like much raw, but wait till you fry it, then it melts in your mouth. She promises to fry chicken for Sunday lunch, but only if I help. Oh, yes. And please, what about some sweet corn and potatoes? Or if you do not have any corn, how about some peas? Does that sound good with you? That sounds fine, but only if you help me. Oh, yes. Aunt Betsy let me off at the end of the path just like I asked, and I walked the rest of the way to the house. I will just have locked myself up, what I thought. If I have to stay here, I can lock myself up. Push the chair up against the door and keep something in there to hit with just in case. So she's talking about back. She's gone back to her house. Her aunt Betsy's dropped her off. You can tell she's scared. So in her mind, she's figuring out what she can do to kind of protect herself. Remember from our last chapters, her dad is having a lot of men come in the house and they're drunk, and so she's definitely scared. I forget sometimes that he got to me, but I got him away from me pretty soon. If you push him down, you have some time to run out before he can get his ugly self up. He might grab and swat, but that's all he can do if you're quick. It would have been okay if he had left me alone to begin with, but he got confused. Sometimes he would come stand outside my closet door just to tease me, talking to me about my mama's little ninnies. You got girl ninnies, he might say. I became the champion of not breathing or blinking to be heard. Somebody else calling out sugar blossom britches might sound sweet, but it was nasty from him. He could make anything into trash. Okay, so you kind of have to read between the lines here, but her dad obviously is talking to her in a very inappropriate way. Um, and it's kind of scaring her, and that is so heartbreaking. The first day back at school, my teacher noticed a bruise he put on my arm, and they all had a field day over it in the nurse's office, calling in everybody but the janitor to come and take a look at it. I'd rather nobody saw my business. The teacher said she was fascinated by me and my bruise and just had to hear more. She had been watching me close ever since I would not tell her about my mama. She asked me how it all happened, and I told her my daddy put the squeeze on me, and that's how it happened. She was shocked, but I told her I was used to it, so I didn't get an uproar over it. You live with something long enough, you get used to it, like smelling the inside of Starletta's house. She asked me if I had somewhere to spend the night. Of course, I live in a house just like everybody. No, honey, not your house. Let's call somebody to pick you up, and I'll take care of getting all your things from your house. That sounds good to me, but I already tried it one time. Who do you who do you know to call? She wants to know. All I can think of is Starletta and her mom and her daddy, but you have to call the store for somebody to give them the message. Isn't Starletta your little colored friend? You could say you could tell by the way she said colored that this would not do. She is, I say. I would be foolish calling up Dora's mama or my mama's mama. I've already worn out my welcome at Aunt Betsy's. The teacher says everything is okay. She will make the necessary arrangements. That sounds good. Maybe she will have better luck with me than I thought. The art teacher had been standing over to the side, not seeing anything. I did not know her good, but she liked the way I do art. She got the teacher and the principal by the sleeve and said to have a word or two in the hall. When they came back in, they said they have decided what they were going to do with me. It's about time, I thought. Lord, it's about time.